This is Allison Hunt, and I'm going to read you my fourth novel, which I'm calling Starset 158 for the time being. Copyright 2014. Chapter 1, Halfies. Fan pulled Lily by the arm, and they both ran down the hall. The ship was hit and it shook, throwing a wall of sparks all around them. Lily screamed. He hurriedly punched in a code and the door opened. "Hurry, my love. What are we going to do?" "Live." He typed in another code and something hidden came out of the wall and opened. "Get in the chamber, my love." Two other men saw this, nodded at each other in agreement, and hurried back to take their stations. "No, not without you. Don't leave me," Lily cried, and he kissed her. I'm going to get in one too. I love you. We shall survive." She crawled in and the lid began to move. "Fan, let me out of here." "I can't. You must live." The lid closed. She went to sleep as the suspended animation began. The chamber pulled back into the wall, leaving no trace of her at all. Beep, beep, beep. We're getting a life reading. From where? There's nothing out here. Over those hills. When the shuttle crested the hills, they could barely see the old ship between the trees. They landed the shuttle and scouted. Most of it was still intact. Someone had landed the craft, but it had taken damage. This shuttle's so old. We're out in the middle of nowhere. No wonder why no one ever found it. It's coming from the wall right here. An animal? Don't know. John took out his laser cutter. "Be careful with that," Matthew warned. John smirked and cut open the wall. "Fan?" Lily asked as she blinked her eyes. She sat up, but she couldn't move her legs. "What happened? My head hurts." The blurry image in front of her took shape, and she saw a man she didn't know. "Who are you?" she asked him. "I'm John Asteen, 391. 391? Is that an army number?" "Why, no. I'm a clone. The 991st clone of John Asteen." "Where am I?" "You're in the city of Nostay. When the tranquilizer wears off, I need to take you to them." "Who's them? Tranquilizer?" "We had to sedate you when you came out of the chamber so you wouldn't be combative. You're still in shock." "Took me?" "From the suspension chamber you were in." "Where's Fan?" "No one else was with you." "Fan Quan. He said he wouldn't leave," she whimpered. John looked at her curiously. "What's your name?" "Lily. Lily O'Shea." "What year is it, Lily?" 2014. John stood still looking at her. "Lily, it's 2040. They led her down a hallway into a giant room. In the center was a clear room. Many people in uniform sat around the box. "They're going to ask you many questions." "I'm frightened, John." All of the people stared at her. She held on to John's arm. "You have to go in there and sit." "Come with me." "I can't." She began to shake and wrapped her arms around John. They stood outside of the box. "The patient is scared. May I enter with her?" "Affirmative." "Thank you." She sat and he stood next to her. 4 men attached things to her head and placed a box and a microphone in front of her. They left the room and the glass door shut and sealed them inside. Lily shook and sweat rolled from her forehead. "It's okay," John comforted. They were recording her from many angles. What looked like a leader in a decorative uniform sat in the front. He tapped his microphone. "I am General Sanson, 429 of the Rotec Army. Relax and tell us who you are and the last things that you remember." "I'm Lily O'Shea. I'm part of a special unit, the Starset Associate Army, upon spacecraft USS 158. In the 1950s, our government gained technology from the aliens. We used it to build our own saucers, unknown to the public. A war was starting, and we were being attacked." "By whom?" "Ourselves." "Explain." "We turned on our mission. We were ordered to kill Americans, and were part of a rebellion." "Interesting." So what happened to my crew? They died. It can't be. Was there anyone with me? No one. The only reason you are alive is because the chamber had its own generator. When the ship landed and lost power, it kept going. For 26 years, it kept going. You speak English. Am I in America? No, there is no America anymore. The leaders of the planet tried to kill everyone off. They poisoned the people, used biological weapons, and had a great war that killed almost the entire world's population. You are quite a rare find. There were hardly any survivors. 90% of us humans are clones. The aliens saved us from extinction. But the aliens are evil and work for the government. Not all of them. They came to help the humans. They saved us. There is no world like you knew. It is one world now, and the ETs run things. Most of us are in what you remember as Asia. We're in Asia? Yes. Most of the survivors were here, and the weather is good. Is it possible that any of my crew are still alive? Do you have any records? Very doubtful. You were found so far out, but I can look them up for you. Give me some names. She started with the least significant crew member and slowly worked her way to who she really wanted to ask about. Fan Quan. The captain's eyes grew wide after he punched his name into the computer. What, is he still alive? She yelled and stood up. John put his hand on her shoulder and made her sit back down. Unknown. Your friend had an interesting life. He continued to fight against his own government. He killed many of them to save the humans. He is a legend and a hero, but he vanished. He was never found, assumed dead. He's still alive! I must find him! We can't even find him, and your ship has been missing for 26 years. We're going to take you to the city of Damay. You will be pricked and poked and constantly asked questions. You might as well get used to that. That's what happens when you are rare. How rare? You are the only white female that's not a clone. All of the pure humans are Asian except for you. All of the whites were killed, and clones cannot reproduce. And we don't all speak English. They speak Chinese and Antonon. Chinese, she yelled. Fan is Chinese. He could be there. You know the language, then? No. What's Antonon? E.T. talk. One of the many. Some live here, some are hybrids. I'm sure you'll meet some soon. They will be very interested in you. They traveled and took her to the city. When they got there, John squeezed her hand. They won't let me come with you. No, she screamed. Tell them I won't help them unless you are here. I won't answer their damn questions. I have to go back and finish my job. There's a reason why they cloned John Astin 391 times, and it wasn't to take care of you. Damn you, I don't know anyone. Everyone is dead, and now I'm all alone. No, you're not. You're surrounded in clones. I'm scared. What if they cut me all up? They won't, I assure you. They'll clone you and cut them all up. Damn it, John, please. I can't go. I'm sorry. I will miss you. I'll make sure they let me check on you later and communicate to make sure that you're okay. Thank you. Everything's gonna be just fine. Lily lay asleep on a hospital bed. She was placed in high security for her own sake. Just like the unit she once belonged to, she was now highly classified. A man stood above her. Well, almost a man. He hovered both of his palms face down over her body. He went from her forehead, then stopped. He closed his eyes and smiled. He was there to scan and heal any parts of her that were damaged. He scanned her mind. He wasn't supposed to, but he couldn't help it. She was interesting. She remembered Earth the way it used to be. He was getting high off of her emotions. Their bosses were full Antonon, and they only cherished logic and didn't understand emotions, let alone encourage them. He sat with his palms over her. He put one hand over her heart and one over her head. He was smiling and light-headed. Just then, his boss walked in. Busted. Is she well? Yes. You were smiling. What did you learn from her? I couldn't help it. She's fascinating. She knows music that doesn't exist anymore. She sings and paints. She's intelligent but very emotional. It hypnotizes me. Let me look. As the Antonon approached, AK blocked him from her and pulled a laser weapon on him. That's his boss. I may not have emotions like you, but I know that one is jealousy. You love her already, I see. She has not yet met you, and I'm sure the higher-ups have plans for her, being a pureblood, so don't get too attached. Move on so I can look. AK moved and scowled at him. The Antonon held his hand over her head. He looked back at AK. She is looking for someone, and she doesn't know he's still alive. Don't you fucking dare! Never take her to him. I'll kill you. Where do you get such foul language from, anyway? You speak very foul for a Halfie. The cinemas. The American cinemas. I've watched them all. It would be interesting considering he's aged 26 years and she didn't, and she still loves him. Fuck you. You say that so cold and Antonon-like, although your emotions are really screaming like a human's. It would throw a mighty pebble in his pond now, wouldn't it? Yeah, and he'll steal her and disappear, and none of us will get to study her at all, and no breeding will be done at all. Good point. Nice logical recovery. But I want to be in charge of her the whole way. Get her to trust me. You want her for yourself, something you Halfies call love? AK stood with a stone face. What does this other man make you feel? Don't lie to me. I can tell if you lie. Hatred and jealousy. Because she loves him much? Yes, but his life has moved on, and even if she got to see him, he would never be able to have her in his life. Not anymore. Just try to use your logic for this mission. If you step out of bounds, we will punish you, and you'll never see her again. Lily woke up and saw a man with wavy brown hair. The clones all had shorter hair. He must not be a part of that army. AK was watching his computers. He had no expression on his face. Who are you? AK. I'm kind of like a doctor. Oh, AK what? Just AK. Are you a robot? No. You don't seem to talk much. I'm sorry. I'm very distracted. I just learned some new information. He's clicking on his computer because he's dirt digging on Van Quant. You are healthy, never aged a day in 26 years, and you missed the whole thing. What thing? Lily, this is very important. She stopped talking and he continued typing. After a minute, he sighed, then stopped and turned to face her. I hate to be the one to break it to you, but you're kind of in deep shit. How do you know my name? What do you mean? You're rare, and that makes you a prisoner in many ways. How do you mean? I mean like they own you, and they're going to do many things to you. They will do experiments, and you can't resist them. I pity you. Experiments and breeding, perhaps. Take your blood, run tests, and copy you many times. They will impregnate you. I won't let them! She yelled. They can't force me. Yes, they can. I don't want to. You don't understand your dilemma, Lily. What dilemma? I'll do whatever they want as long as they don't force me to carry. 5 other races besides the Antonon have already heard of you. You're the rarest find. You will have to do whatever they say, no matter what, or you'll die. Thanks for breaking it to me kindly, I guess. I'm sorry. It's not your fault that this is the way it is. I'm a slave? No, we're all slaves in a way, but docile. Very few resist commands. The Antonon rule us all, but you have the most slavery, the worst fate, and I am sad. But don't forget that you never saw World War III. I'm a slave? Isn't slavery against the law? Isn't it punishable not to let a man change his destiny? Fuck, Lily. You've been gone a long time. We all work for or against each other, but we all must do what the Antonon want. We all take orders from them. I am worried because the other aliens may come looking for you too, unless I can stall them. Give them everything they want except for you." "You can do that?" "I can try. You have me to help you and protect you as much as I can, at least." "Thank you, AK. It's not your fault this is the way it is either." "What's AK stand for?" "Alien kindness." "You're an alien?" "Half. And don't search for the guy you're looking for. He's dead. I'm sorry. I know more than the clones do." "You break my heart twice in one day. Come here." He held her and he glowed within her embrace, like a spotlight on a watchtower. She leaked her emotions on him and he held her. "He wasn't supposed to leave. It wasn't supposed to happen like this. I'm a prisoner and I'm all alone." "No, you're not," AK smiled. He got up and went to the drawer where he pulled some things out and came back to her. "Don't be scared," he said as he readied his instruments. "I have to start some of these tests so that they'll have something to chew on for a while, so I can think about how to stall them." He held out a device. "I'm sorry, there's no way to avoid these things. I can try to force them to keep all experiments away from you." "What experiments?" "Clones of you, and children of you, artificial or not. I'm all alone, nobody loves me, and everybody wants a piece of me." AK had to do some other business, and she was told to stay there. He gave her a device that showed her things, but nothing major. It showed her about the present. "Hey," a man who sat across the room from her said to her. He was taller than AK, but had a very pale complexion and blonde hair. He looked human too, but so did AK. "Are you a clone or a robot?" "Neither." "Are you an alien?" "I'm a Halfie, like AK." "I'm Jeremy." "You're lucky he likes you so much." "He does, but he's so cold." "Not when it comes to you. He'll try everything to protect you." "At least I have that. I lost the one I love. I saw him yesterday, and it's 26 years later. I don't really feel like talking." She lay back down in her bed. "Why do you hate me so much, Alex?" AK asked his Antonon boss. "Alejandrin." "Yeah, Alex." "Hate is something I don't feel." "You never liked me." "I've never liked anyone. You Halfies seem to take for granted that you fit in with the rest of them. If you weren't wearing uniforms, you would too." "It doesn't matter. We do not communicate with the others the same way you do. That hinders us where it benefits you." "But you're of the highest power. None of us blend with the Asians." "No, but you blend in with the clones and you speak all languages." "I never thought about it like that. No wonder you're such a dick." "Very funny." "I gave them what they want. They ought to leave her alone for a while." "For a while. You don't have much time to make her like you." "I know. There's a celebration next week in his company." "I know." "Don't do anything I wouldn't do." Alejandrin's egging him on to go start shit. He is. Egging him on. Yeah, he's alive, all right. But he doesn't go under that name. AK returned to Lily, who was still learning data from the handheld. He held out flowers as he entered. "Thanks, AK. Lavender roses are my favorite." "They are rare, like you. They actually grow better now after World War III. The plants retook their ground, but they're too far away to get in such a short time." "But they look real, AK. They even smell." "It's a hologram. They will bloom but never die. I'm going to take you to the city to see the other Halfies." He typed in a code and an outfit appeared. "Here. I want you to put this on. I want you to blend in with us on our way out. I don't want you to be observed. I want you to observe. This way you don't look like the subject." He walked her through many hallways and rooms. It reminded her of a hospital, but it was extremely high-tech. They went outside of the building. It was nighttime, but it was lit up by the glowing lights of the city. Flying cars whizzed about the skyline. It seems so boring in there. Of course it is. It's work. I'm taking you where we go for fun. He took her to the city where there were restaurants and entertainment. He waved a wand over her and changed her outfit. I'm taking you to dinner. They entered a beautiful building. There was a waterfall inside that ran into a man-made creek, and many beautiful fish tanks. They were sat down and given a glass of champagne. AK filled a glass and gave it to Lily. She saw a rapid flash of a full champagne glass falling to the floor and breaking into 1,000,000 pieces. She frowned. What's the matter? Don't like champagne? No, I mean, yes, I do. I'm kind of nervous. She took a drink. So there's only Halfies in this city? Yes, the Asians and Antonon stay separate. So all of you are experimental hybrids with the Asians and Antonon? Yes. And the Halfies can't live with them at all? No, they don't want us. We're not pure. We're an abomination to them. We are rejects to them, but we are loved by the Antonon. Are there any Halfies that are natural? Yes, but even with love, these are separated from their parents. That's sad. If you are loved by the Antonon, then why aren't you allowed there? They think different. So you are rejects to them, but they love you? They favor us above the clones and humans. I see. Then what am I? Oh, Lily, you don't want to know. Let's just pretend we're having dinner like normal people. Okay. They enjoyed the rest of their evening. AK got to hold her hand, but nothing more because she didn't want it. When they returned, it was different. What's this? It looks like Jeremy built you a room of your own. So we can watch you, but you can have some privacy. That was smart of you, Jeremy. Thank you. Jeremy remained quiet. Lily observed the room. It had been decorated nicely. There were notebooks, art supplies, and a guitar. Is it real? She asked about the guitar. Yes, I studied them and had one made. Not many of those around anymore. I'm kind of tired. Can I lay down? Yes, go ahead. Watch, I'll show you how to activate the wall. You move your hand up and then over. He showed her, then opened the wall again. Good night, Lily. Tomorrow is another day. Lily half smiled. Good night, AK. She closed the door. AK returned to Jeremy by the computer. AK began to type really fast. He stopped and slammed his fists on the desk. Shit, he yelled. That was a smart thing to do, Jeremy. Thank you. That ought to keep her busy for a while.